everybody, welcome to my channel. I am so excited today to talk about my health and fitness journey. It's more of an adoption of a healthy lifestyle. It happened over a span of a few years just because I was just trying to figure out what I was doing, where I was going, what I wanted. But I would love to give you some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. I am by no means a professional. I'm just extremely passionate about finding something that can help you live your best life, but at the same time you're healthy, you're active, and you're happy. I think that's the most important thing at the end of the day, is that you're living a life that makes you very happy and you feel like you're thriving. So y'all, I used to be 40 pounds heavier at least, and that's not an issue, except I was extremely unhappy. And when I looked it up, my BMI was considered unhealthy, and I was kind of in denial about it for a while, like, it's probably just because, you know, they didn't take into account that I have this kind of muscle. I didn't have any muscle. You know, I had like a lot of excuses of why the calculators were wrong. And it took me a while to kind of be honest with myself about it. But then I was kind of always a medium size, you know, maybe a little more on the bigger end growing up, but it wasn't anything that really bothered me. Yes, I was self-conscious in high school. I wanted to be thinner and stuff, but not enough to actually do anything about it. I was just enjoying life. I remember the worst of it was I'd be in dance classes. I'm very involved in the arts. I did musical theater, and I'd go to dance classes in my leotard, and I would feel self-conscious and like I didn't belong there. I wasn't going to be as good as everyone just because I was a little heavier set, which is totally not true. My mindset at the time, I started undergrad and maybe a little self-conscious again of how I looked, but again, not enough to make any changes. I was extremely busy. I was going everywhere. I had activities all the time, and I was happy. My first time away from home, I adopted the worst habits. So I would go and get coffee every day. And when I say coffee, I would go get a medium mocha, grande mocha every day with a pastry. And then maybe I would get a tall mocha later. And then maybe for dinner, I would go get fast food somewhere because I feel like I hadn't eaten much that day, so I can make up for it at night. And my appetite is always strongest at the night. I had no idea calories, what I was consuming, what I was supposed to be consuming. If you've never looked up how much sugar is in a Starbucks latte, I would challenge you to do so. I was in my senior year of my undergraduate degree, and I was having a blast. We were going out to celebrate all the time, going out to dinner. We would go out for drinks on the weekends, have margaritas and queso on the regular, and I really enjoyed it. It was so much fun. And I kind of don't have regrets about that, just because I was really living up my senior year. Lots of social time, lots of friend time, lots of stressful time, but it was a happy period for me. Then I started my master's, and for my master's, I actually moved to a small town. It's actually a dry town. I did not know what a dry town was, but they exist. The reason I bring that up is not because I thrive on alcohol. I enjoy it, but I don't need it. There was not such a strong social culture into the town I moved into. I was one of the few grad students in the grad program. It was also kind of a commuter school. People would go and they would leave and be with their family. When all of a sudden all I had was school and work, my eating habits just increased. I would just, you know, I would kept my diet of Starbucks and mochas and pastries and chocolate bars and chicken nuggets and hamburgers and french fries and pizza, margaritas, queso, that's still going. And it started to show. It didn't take too long to catch up with me. Not to mention I wasn't moving. I was going to school, and then I was going to work, and then I was going home and watching Netflix, and that's about it. I was in a really bad mental space. I wasn't happy. I started to really dislike the way I looked and the way I felt. So my plan of action was kind of to lose weight. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't really have a goal. I just knew that if I looked better, maybe I would feel better. And it's just easier to think that it's all the body. So if I can fix my body first, then maybe everything else will make me happier. This leads me to the start of my weight loss journey. What I did first was not attack the diet. Let's just leave the diet as it is. The first thing I did was I signed up for a boutique studio gym, and it was catered towards women over the age 50. That might sound crazy, but it was actually a really good fit. It was a really good introduction to fitness. Like I said, I hadn't played much sports before. I mean, I was in softball in middle school, and they kept me on the bench, and they should have kept me on the bench. And then I also did Taekwondo. So on the test for like, I think my first belt on Taekwondo, the guy was like, you don't do your ayahs with conviction, because every time you hit or something, you say ayah, and you're supposed to yell it. I didn't feel like I fit in there. I didn't feel like I was doing anything right. It was awkward. I didn't want anyone to see me. So I was not about to yell ayah. So I'm uncoordinated. I don't know much about movement. I start at this gym catered for older women, and I do yoga and bar classes. I was not committed to this. Like, I would go maybe a couple times a week. I'd feel guilty because I was paying a membership, so I wanted to go and do something. It was about 20 minutes from where I lived, so I couldn't justify going every day. But I stuck with it for a while, just really inconsistently, and I didn't change my diet. So I didn't see anything. I didn't see any results at all. I just need to bump it up. So I would try like the TRX classes, the step classes, and these girls were a hoot. And let me tell you, you can be really in shape at 50 years old. I was starting to get more comfortable with like weights and TRX straps and some gym movements. It didn't all seem so foreign to me. So then I realized I want to keep doing this. My work sent out an email and they said they were going to do a running team for beginners. They were going to meet in the mornings, and I was like, this is perfect because I will be disciplined. I will have to go and I'll have to do it, and then maybe if I'm doing it consistently, I will see results. I hate running. I cannot run at all. I had the worst mindset about it. I don't think I can run, like I can walk it, but I'm really embarrassed. Maybe I shouldn't be here. Maybe I should just go home and go to bed. I had to run for 30 seconds and walk for 30 seconds. It's surprising how fast I built up to be able to run a mile. I think it was a couple weeks, but it was like all in my mind. Like I didn't think it was possible for me to do something like that. And once I did, my mind was so blown. Like, me run a mile. So what happened now is I'm embracing the running. I hate it so much. I hate running. I go out there and I do it and I don't like it at all, but I feel so empowered afterwards. Like, that feeling was making me stick with it, and I started to see slight changes. So I ran my 5K, slight diet changes, nothing big. And then I met my boyfriend, who helped me so much. He introduced me to macros, calorie counting. I was missing all this information, which I think is just so key to know what's going into your body. Knowledge is power. If it's triggering to count calories, then don't do that. You have to do what's best for you. But for me, I didn't know what I was consuming, and it's not that I needed a lifestyle of counting calories every day. It's that I needed to know what I was putting in my body and what my body really needed. And from there, I kind of learned what my body is thriving on. I wasn't making perfect choices. I didn't go from like cheeseburgers to grapefruit, and also counting my macros. It's not for everybody, but if you're open to it, I would suggest doing it for a week just so you have an idea of what's going on. Again, like I said, knowledge is power. Once I kind of had like an idea of what is putting in my body, I could start to make better choices. I would love to make another video about food swaps, because you don't have to change everything you're eating. You can stick with a pretty like similar diet to where you're having, just make little swaps. What you're putting in your body is very important, and it was only then did I start to see significant results. After that, me and a friend signed up for a box gym, and we tried every class. We tried Zumba, toning classes, booty bar, like anything you could possibly think of, we tried it out. But it was nice getting to go with her. So I would recommend, if you want to try out a gym for the first time, take a friend, try out a group fitness class. If nothing else, it'll just get you more acquainted with the gym. So we did that for a while. I didn't love any of the classes we were taking. I felt silly most of the time, but we stuck through. One day I tried a HIIT class and my life was forever changed. I couldn't do all the exercises and I couldn't do them for the full time, but I knew immediately, like, in love. Now, me, like a few years ago, I never ever would have known that HIIT would be something I would want to do. I kept going and I was having a blast. I was getting better all the time. I was starting to lose weight, so I was inspired to keep going to the gym. That in my diet, I was feeling really good, on top of the world. And eventually the gym asked me to be a HIIT instructor there because I was there all the time. And then I fell into cycle, and now cycle's my thing. But it's always evolving and changing, and again, if I were to give you advice, it'd be try a bunch of different things, and whatever you try first, maybe if you're lucky, it's gonna be the thing you like, but maybe not. The other thing I would say is don't underestimate walking. Walking is fantastic for you, and you can get weight loss from walking. If I were to only change two things, one would be my diet, and 2 would have been increased walking. It's more than physical, like it's mentally amazing. And that's what I meant to say about exercise classes. That's why I fell in love with them. They got me out of such a dark place, you know? They made me feel really happy and empowered and confident, and I didn't have that before. So my body transformation started to happen and I started to feel better. And then that brings me to my main point, which is diet and workout plans. They work, they do. But I don't know if it's the best thing for everybody. I don't believe in cold turkey for any of this. I think you have to do something that works with your lifestyle. So if you're eating donuts in the morning, I wouldn't go to grapefruit and a boiled egg. There are little things you can do in your life, like maybe cut back on sauces, or maybe, you know, take the stairs. You hear these things all the time, but they're true, and it starts with little changes. And it has to be things that work with your life, because if it doesn't work for your life, if you're eating a diet that's so foreign to what you normally do, it's not going to work. It's not going to be maintainable or sustainable. I feel like there's something that can work for you, and I don't think you have to go to an extreme end to find it. In the end, it's about being happier. So you want to do something that makes you happy. You don't want to adjust your life to being miserable. As far as advice, again, I'm not a professional, but if I were to like suggest ways to do this in a faster way than I did it. So the first thing is you need to be honest with yourself, like know what you're feeling, because if you're kind of dodging and being wish-washy about it, you can't fix the problem. So if you're unhappy about something, it may be health and fitness, it may be something else in your life. And for me, I had to use health and fitness as a gateway to fix other things in my life. I was able to find a new community of people. I was able to really embrace the life that I want, because I felt so empowered and confident, and I knew how to go get my goals. And that's something I learned and really embraced in my challenge. So you need to figure out what you honestly want. Like, what are you feeling and what do you want? And don't lie to yourself about this. They can be shallow thoughts. Like, I feel like I hear a lot of people start their fitness journey because they want to be skinny. I think you need to be honest with what you want and where you want to go. And those thoughts usually do evolve. If you go into something for shallow reasons, you probably won't stay with it. Something else will make you stay with it, or you'll find something else to do instead. So I think it's really important to figure out what you want. Know your why. Why are you doing this? Your why is going to be a pretty big deal. So I think you need to find your why. You need to find what you want to do, and then you need to create a goal and a plan. So this is where I just wandered, you know, for a little bit. I would say change 3 little swaps in your life. Maybe it's park farther, maybe it's go on a 10-minute walk a day, maybe it's instead of having fast food 3 nights a week, it's having fast food 2 nights a week. And that plan could be ever evolving and ever changing, but I think you need momentum in a direction, because otherwise, I mean, you will probably get there eventually. I was on this road of like, what am I doing for a long time. And it was great because I learned so much. I learned so much about me. But if you're wanting to fast track that, you know, if you want this to be a 3-year thing, that is something that you could do, is have a goal and a plan of how to get there. Like, there's so many resources. Like, YouTube is great. YouTube has been a main inspiration for me. That's why I'm making a YouTube video, which is crazy. So yeah, if you have any questions about this or anything like that, I'd love to help you. And I would just like to remind you, I'm not an expert on this topic. It's something I'm very, very passionate about. And just know my journey is ongoing. I don't think I know all the answers. I have so many more goals I want to accomplish. If you made it all the way through my video, thank you so much for watching my first YouTube video. If you would like to like or comment or subscribe or any of those wonderful things, that would be fantastic.